Alright, so I am Teresa Pini, currently a medtech student. So, okay, I just want to ask you something. How many of you here uses media? Be it on television, newspapers, radio, or the very accessible one, social media? How well do you take information from these sources? I suppose that people nowadays are highly reliant on this power, like social media, right? Have you ever reflected on yourself? How you express yourselves through media? How you create and access news and updates? Can you consider yourself as a media literate? So first, let's define what media literacy is. Media literacy builds an understanding of the role of media in society as well as essential skills for inquiry and self-expression necessary for citizens of a democracy. It provides a framework to access, analyze, evaluate, create, and participate with messages in a variety of forms, from print to video to the internet. It empowers people to be critical thinkers, makers, effective communicators, and active citizens. However, we are struggling to distinguish truth from fabrication. The proliferation of information on the internet makes the development of a critical mind and of information-related competencies that much more crucial. We often think of today's students as technology savvy, and while that might be true to a certain extent, when it comes to using hardware and software devices, a recently published report shows how little know-how students display when it comes to information literacy, or the ability to use technology to find the information they're looking for. The report from Princeton NJ-based ETS found that the majority of high school and college students lack the proper critical thinking skills when it comes to researching online and using sources. We're more well-versed than any of the older people who preceded us in terms of how to use these devices. But where there's a starting gap is in our ability to cognitively apply this technology in meaningful ways. I remember when the memes about the black skin colored people became a trend. The people keep on sharing this because for them, it's fun. But little did they know that they were already practicing racism and that they offend lots of people. The sarcasm there is, memes were made by fellow Filipinos who are naturally tan-skinned. Few days ago, a friend of mine back in high school were selling PS4 because he's planning to invest for his online streaming few months from now. Without verification of the consumer he met online, he gave the product when they met in person. He told me that he did not search for the history of that person. Immediately, he had been scammed. Another to mention is the dissemination of scandals through Messenger, Facebook, Twitter, and such. Without verifying the person in the videos with just a click, the spread happens within seconds. And actually, even if the person has been verified in the video, we should not contribute to the things that are detrimental for the involved people. Because of that, the number of cases of suicide is increasing due to shame that leads to depression. Recently, the candidate for Fuchs of President have found that someone made her a Twitter account that contained all the hatred and bashes for her. It turns out that we're using media to degrade someone under a hidden identity. There comes the fake news also, like the famous celebrities that have been reported dead, and even the false alarm on the event of the big one, which was not really true. People tend to share posts they see without checking the sources. 2 years ago, the posts of the people about their accounts will be hacked if they don't share that message had become prevalent that time. It was really frightening to hear that kind of news, but they didn't think of it twice, that maybe it was just a prank. A friend of mine who shared that post explained to me that nothing will happen to him if you do that. He claims that it was better to be ready than sorry. While media literacy does raise critical questions about the impact of media and technology, it is not an anti-media movement. Rather, it represents a coalition of concerned individuals and organizations, including educators, faith-based groups, healthcare providers, citizen and consumer groups, who seek a more enlightened way of understanding our media environment. As per what Curriculum of Excellence said, we do not only need to be able to read for information. We also need to be able to work out what trust we should place on the information and to identify when and how people are aiming to persuade or influence them. The thing here is we must learn how to be media and information literate. Verify everything first. Think before you click. We always have the opportunity to discuss and reflect on the consequences of our behavior when using social media. Also, for us to build growth through creating positive comments when using social media. It is for us to be a positive role model online to set a good example. Becoming media and information literate individuals will test our patience on how we deal with information. It includes a certain level of respect towards those who need and request for it. Respect for information need means we allow each and everyone to express their ideas, opinions, and expressions fully without any judgment. We must access the needed information effectively and efficiently. Evaluate information and its sources critically. Incorporate selected information into one's knowledge base. Use information effectively to accomplish a specific purpose. Create media responsibly. Recognizing your own point of view, saying what you want to say, how you want to say it, and understanding that your messages have an impact is key to effective communication. Identify the role of media in our culture. From celebrity gossip to magazine covers to memes, media is telling us something. Media is shaping our understanding of the world and even compelling us to act or think in certain ways. We must understand the author's goal. What does the author want you to take away from a piece of media? Is it purely informative? Is it trying to change your mind? Or is it introducing you new ideas you've never heard of? When we understand what type of influence something has, we can make informed choices. We can likely to notice that some writers are extremely unfair. We can identify their works if it's biased or full of hate. We must be the people with open minds. People who are willing to listen to both sides of certain issues. But having an open mind doesn't mean our brains fall out. We have to develop our sense of intelligence. It is up to us to discriminate between truths and falsehoods. Let our power of discernment grow. Thank you.